Hi, my name is Olivia Kolar, and today with me I have Madison Lewandowski and Andrea Lamprinconi, who are going to help me explain a little bit about what we've discovered while learning about the advancements in marketing industry and how this new AI technology will play into businesses. So, what are the key takeaways from the readings? The first is that AI is much more readily available and capable than consumers believe it to be. The second is that brands will need to shift the focus of marketing efforts from consumers to AI platforms. And the third is that brand recognition will begin to be much more irrelevant, not completely, but somewhat. And so to start off, this article states that AI is readily available and with many capabilities, and even more capabilities that are in the developmental phases right now. And some of these upcoming advancements are things many individuals didn't believe AI would originally be able to do, let alone so soon. So one key takeaway that I discovered AI is capable of is navigating consumers when they have an overwhelming number of choices for a given product. So what does this mean? AI now has the ability to decide among hundreds of options of similar items in order to pick which one most fits your specific needs with relation to cost and competing offers all factored in. So when you're picking something like a pack of pencils and you don't want to have to search through hundreds of different brands to find which ones will work best for you, as this can be a very tedious process, AI can kind of help you with things like that. And AI can help on larger scale purchases as well, like televisions or insurance, assuring that you have the best quality product or the most cost-effective plan available. AI's ability to make these daily tasks much less time consuming will save consumers time throughout their day, giving them a competitive advantage in life because they will have more free time to do other things like work or personal care. So, this fact alone will make AI technology much more desirable. And something very interesting is the new form of interaction with consumers. Because marketers have kind of always taught that face-to-face interaction with customers is much more meaningful and stimulating, which is something that is definitely going to get lost a little bit in the advancements of artificial intelligence. And the article predicts that AI assistants will actually win consumers' trust and loyalty better than any other marketing technology to date, which is super interesting. So, to build off that last key takeaway with regards to the mention of AI assistants creating relationships with customers, as I previously mentioned, AI assistants will now become consumers' main resource for connecting with companies. They will be able to aid consumers in receiving information, goods, and services. Because they have a large impact on consumers, they will be the ones driving consumers' attention to certain shops and products. Companies will now need to shift the way they market themselves to be geared towards the AI systems rather than the consumers themselves. And by doing so, the goal of companies will be to shift gears, now aiming to obtain preferential positioning by AI assistants. Now, how will the companies begin to do this? First, the financial team is going to need to get involved. Businesses will need to reallocate their money, putting less funding and emphasis on advertising, listing, and retail. Instead, businesses will want to allocate money towards formulating new strategies that will increase their chances of being showed by AI assistants. Once you have selected a strong, capable group of formulating these new innovative strategies, you're going to have to research how to ensure that the AI platform chooses you. So brands will essentially have two options. The first being to pay for preferential positioning, and the second, more powerful option is to continually innovate their offerings so that they align with consumers' stated and implicit needs, drawing on data supplied by the platforms. So this will require brands to really differentiate themselves, honing in on their ability to compete in regards to speed, quality, and cost. Businesses must acknowledge and address continuous efforts in consumer tastes and preferences in order to kind of stay relevant. So, next up, we have the last key takeaway, which is the idea that brand recognition will become less relevant. So, with AI's new algorithm, brand recognition will begin to play less of a role in product selection because it'll be less catered towards the more catered towards the most impressive products rather than the brand names alone. And this is not to say that brand recognition will be completely irrelevant because it will not. In order for these companies to combat the AI algorithm not catering to their brand recognition, owners are going to want to invest in finding employees who really understand the algorithm's platform and the way it recommends and chooses products for each customer. In some categories and for some customers, brands may be more important than others. AI algorithms will take these differences into consideration. The second thing companies can do is assess the value of maintaining direct ties with consumers. So for some services, such as smart electronics promoting brand awareness outside AI algorithms will be the best strategy because smart products provide companies with a direct channel for engaging with customers and collecting data on them, making those companies less reliant on AI platforms. In this case, the business would benefit more from just putting investments towards ongoing brand building.
When utilizing artificial intelligence platforms, there are three main parts of the customer journey that AI directly affects: customer acquisition, customer satisfaction, and customer retention. And companies should learn to utilize AI to improve these aspects and use it to their advantage. First is customer acquisition. So, how do companies actually acquire users? And the way that ads are currently used and the way that they've been used in the past are actually pretty inefficient. Think of how many ads you've seen and the number of times that seeing one of those ads actually persuaded you to buy something. For me, I could probably count the number of times on one, maybe two hands. So even with current AI software, ads continue to be directed at consumers who aren't good prospects. However, as artificial intelligence improves, this will soon change. Rather than throwing a bunch of spaghetti at a wall and hoping that something sticks, marketing will become more of a science, and you'll basically be able to pick out the exact piece of spaghetti that you know will stick, meaning marketing will soon focus on a single channel in the platform rather than focusing on multiple channels and hoping for the best. The use of AI software can also be used to suggest new buying purchases based on your individual preferences. So imagine your Alexa that already knows what things you like to purchase, and it'll start suggesting new and similar products to things that you are very likely to want. And because of all of this AI software and targeted marketing, marketers will begin to get more bang for their buck. They will be spending their advertising dollars that they know will go to the people who are most likely to buy their product. Less of a guessing game for marketers and therefore less marketing money wasted. Secondly is customer satisfaction. After acquiring a new customer, the customer satisfaction is the most important thing that drives customer loyalty, word of mouth, market share, and profitability. And thanks to AI, this job is getting even easier. Artificial intelligence will have the capability to assess the consumer satisfaction and make adjustments at any point in time. It'll be able to predict what combination of features, price, and performance are the most appealing for the customer and most likely to have the highest satisfaction for the customer at any given moment. Artificial intelligence can even go as far as knowing what they think customers will want even before they do, and can better satisfy their needs than customers themselves can. The example I thought of that I think clearly illustrates this point is that years ago, when people wanted faster transportation, they asked for faster horses, but what they really wanted were cars, and they didn't know it. So AI can basically bridge this gap of what people think they want and what they really want. And lastly is customer retention. So how do we keep customers? Something this reading talked about was how most consumers care about convenience more than efficiency, which is one reason why people continue purchasing from a brand without switching to a potentially better brand. While brands like to think this is because of their strong sense of loyalty, often it's because people don't want to put in the effort to search for a better product. People prefer comfort and convenience over putting in the time to look for something potentially better. However, artificial intelligence can do this job for consumers. It can regularly assess all brands in any category and find the best one that meets each individual customer's need. The switch from brand to brand will be frictionless, and the actual features and benefits of each product will have an increased importance. This also means that competition will get more intense. Because of how easy it'll be to switch from brand to brand, companies will spend more time creating better and more competitive products and services. This is all great news for the consumer. Consumers will have brands fighting for their attention even more now than ever, and the quality of products and services are expected to increase along with it. However, with all these benefits of using artificial intelligence to market to customers, also comes with some things that companies must be cautious of. Firstly, companies must work hard to maintain and build trust between their customers. And while building trust has always been important for companies, it's more important now than ever as brands are making larger and larger promises to their customers that they must fulfill. And in doing so, they must meet the customer's needs and expectations. And if they don't, trust will erode. If consumers feel like they're getting sold out by product recommendations, or if the recommendations just simply aren't in line with the customer, trust will also be lost. Companies must be careful with what they promise and make sure to fulfill those promises entirely. One way the text mentions to solve this problem is to provide both paid and unpaid recommendations equally, to show that the platform has the customer's best interests at heart rather than the interests that make the most money. And secondly, privacy is a huge issue that even the world is struggling with how to deal with right now. The issue with privacy in marketing is that businesses and marketers need data to better service their customers. And the more data that's gathered, the more accurate their platform will be, but also the more exposed customers will feel. There needs to be a balance where companies are able to get the information that they need to better supply the consumer experience without making customers feel as though the company is infringing upon its privacy. However, it's noted that in the past, consumers have been willing to give up personal information and even privacy for convenience. As noted before, people are extremely motivated by convenience. However, it's up to the companies and the marketers themselves to decide how much data they really need and how much privacy consumers are willing to give up for their convenience. These concerns of trust and privacy will become more and more relevant as the improvement of technology increases. Should we allow Alexa-like devices to completely take over our spending habits? How much personal data can marketers gather that is justified? Where do consumers draw the line on what is private versus public knowledge? A lot of people are scared of the capabilities that new technologies will hold with AI. So it is imperative for companies to assess along the way and proceed with caution.
Marketers now have access to a new tool that combines artificial intelligence with the ability to develop a more intimate and personal relationship with their customers. In terms of AI virtual technology assistants, there are already several offerings from Google, Amazon, Baidu, Samsung, and many more. The limiting factor with these assistants is the massive amount of algorithms and infrastructure needed to connect them to a central network. However, the barrier to entry is made lower now that consumers are used to having these items in their household. Marketers are now encouraged to use push marketing instead of pull marketing. By leveraging virtual assistants as tools to create product placement and recommendations, marketers are able to acquire new customers, giving them access to products that they did not know existed as replacements or options to their current offerings. In addition, many companies have been developing artificial intelligence as well as reevaluating and modifying their algorithms to better suit the needs of the market. This helps fill in gaps where marketers and sales have been lacking. For example, the conversational marketing space, which is projected to grow to 13.9 billion by 2025, has been tremendously helped by artificial intelligence. A company called Exceed AI has a proprietary natural language processing engine that reaches an accuracy rate of 97% in understanding a lead's responses and is patent pending for its innovation in the space. A 2020 article by PR Newswire explained how the technology works. The assistant responds to questions, objections, and messages such as, "I'm not the right person," that would otherwise close the lead. When a lead is qualified, The AI assistant books a meeting directly on the corresponding sales representative's calendar. The assistant ultimately works alongside marketing teams to ensure that each lead is followed up with, nurtured, and qualified. Being able to leverage all facets of human interaction, particularly in the household, is a huge asset. In fact, Exceed.ai's CEO, Elon Kassan, said that some of their clients have seen up to a 39.5% increase in qualified leads for the same marketing efforts that they already undertake without an additional headcount. Clearly, these numbers are a sign of growth for their company, but more importantly, a signal to marketers that artificial intelligence will make the difference in this growing competitive market. Let's learn more about how marketers and AI can bridge the gap between consumer communication and getting them connected with the products and solutions that they're looking for. Exceed.ai is an automated marketing and sales assistant powered by AI. The virtual sales assistant software uses conversational AI to work alongside sales and marketing teams. It helps convert more leads and increase lead qualification to schedule more meetings using automated, personalized, and contextual responses and follow-ups. This saves time, money, and resources that can otherwise be allocated to other more creative tasks, such as product development. Let's take a look at this video and learn a little bit more about Exceed.ai, this new technology in the marketing and sales automation sector.
Admit it, you want your sales team to stop working on leads. You want them to close deals. What prevents them from closing more business? The road from leads to opportunities is long, manual, error-prone, and slow. It's full of back-and-forth emails, responding to prospects' questions, follow-ups, and touch points. Everything needs to happen in a timely manner to keep leads warm and push them down the funnel. So, everyone is working hard on trying to talk to every lead while some of the leads never receive follow-ups. Imagine if your team had an AI sales and marketing assistant to do all of the grunt work for them, letting them focus on closing deals. Introducing Exceed AI, conversational AI lead engagement and qualification at scale. Exceed AI is an AI sales and marketing assistant that works alongside your reps and engages in conversations with leads over website chat and email 24/7, so your team can focus on closing business. Exceed AI's conversations are always timely, personalized, and human-like. Exceed AI uses AI to continuously learn what works to push leads forward in the funnel. It engages with each lead in a personalized, human-like, two-way conversation, predicts when is the best time to engage with a lead, asks qualification questions, provides product answers and resources, handles objections, understands when is the right time to hand reps a qualified lead, and books meetings directly on the rep's calendar. It's the sales and marketing tool that's loved by both sales reps and customers. For reps, it saves the tedious work of lead engagement, making sure that every lead receives timely follow-ups and is being qualified. For customers, it sends personalized, effective, and engaging human-like communications. Customers using Exceed have seen an 81% increase in qualified opportunities, 57% increase in new revenue, and 67% reduction in cost of qualified leads. Exceed AI is easy to set up, integrates with your CRM and marketing automation, and delivers value from day one to outbound and inbound campaigns on email and website chat. So, why wouldn't you give it a test drive today? Sales success is just one click away. Learn more at www.exceed.ai.
One of the largest pain points that marketing implementations with artificial intelligence virtual assistants hopes to resolve is that customers purchase the same item repeatedly because they may have not yet been exposed to a suitable alternative. AI serves as a buffer between the customer's preference and a custom offer or product from the company. Through this barrier, companies are able to build trust with accuracy, alignment, and privacy to retain customers. Marketers then design algorithms to meet design desires and requirements, all while building trust through transparency. Additionally, customers are more trusting of a new technology when they have access to its privacy settings, as mentioned before. Although customers have been willing to trade off privacy for convenience for a long time, it's becoming more important to strike a balance between innovation and trusting new relationships. We look forward to joining a workforce that is open to change and new technologies. As marketers, we understand the importance of leveraging emerging technologies to make our jobs easier and grow our accounts. Customer satisfaction can be increased by taking artificially intelligent virtual assistants to the next level, helping customers find better, more tailored solutions to their wants and needs. Thank you for listening. We'll now open the floor to any questions.